How many times have you been shot?
9 times.
9 times.
Why'd the guy shoot you 9 times? Was it drugs or something?
It was paid to do it.
Why
Shoot
were you targeted?
It's karma.
But it's really about trust issues. Don't trust.
They tried to end him, point blank. 9 shots and he ate every single one like it was nothing. Blood everywhere, body limp, but 50 didn't fold. He survived the hit that was supposed to bury him and came back even hungrier. Back then, he wasn't 50 Cent the mogul. He was just a broke kid from Southside Jamaica, Queens. No label, no security, just a pen and pain. Then one day, outside his grandma's house, bam, a car pulls up, letting off like it was a war zone. 9 bullets tore through him face, hand, legs. That should have been the end. But 50? He walked away from death like it owed him money. From that moment, he was different, paranoid, focused, ruthless, bulletproof vest on every day, not for fashion, for survival. When someone asked, "You really wear that vest all the time?" He said, "Most of the time, I believe that's not rap talk. That's real life." While his jaw was wired shut and his body healing, 50 wasn't resting, he was plotting. Locked in a room, spitting bars full of pain and rage. Dropping mixtapes that had the streets blazing. Word on the block? Yo, that's the dude who took 9 and still raps like he's invincible. And then boom, Eminem got the tape. One listen and it was like, who the hell is this monster? And that's when the come up turned deadly serious.
Let's see if he connected the dots lyrically. He may have not have connected the dots lyrically. You can find me in the I'm like, this is it. I turned the rule and everyone in the office and I said, yo, buckle up. We have a major problem. This guy's hot. This record, and he's with Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, and Eminem.
Eminem didn't play around. As soon as that mixtape hit his hands, he passed it straight to Dr. Dre, and from that moment, it was go time. Within no time, 50 Cent had inked one of the biggest deals in rap history. And when In Da Club dropped, the whole rap game hit panic mode. That beat alone had people losing their minds, but once 50E's voice hit the track, everybody from Murder Inc. to the corner store knew this wasn't just a rapper. This was a threat. But 50 didn't come in alone. He rolled in with a wrecking crew behind him, G-Unit. And this wasn't no industry boy band. This was militant energy in rap form. Young Buck, a wild card straight out of the South, aggressive and unfiltered. Lloyd Banks, the punchline king, smooth but deadly with the bars. And then there was Tony Yale, 50E's day one. The ride or die from the block who knew the streets like the back of his hand. Together, they moved like rap Avengers, flashy, fearless, and built for beef. But even as the fame rolled in and the chains got heavier, one thing never left 50E's mind that night. The hit, the 9 shots. See, he never believed it was random, not for a second. 50 always claimed he knew exactly who was behind it, and he even dropped a name, Daryl Hamo Bong. That's when the story starts to shift. Because when 50 points fingers, he's not guessing. He's sending a message.
Paranoia from the experience of actually being hurt heightened your senses to everything, the possibilities of things happen. It shifted me. It's either when you get hurt that bad, either your fear consumes you or you'll become a bit insensitive.
50 didn't mince words, he called it out. Daryl Hamo Bong pulled the trigger, but in the streets, a different name kept surfacing, whispered in barbershops, behind closed doors, in corners where the cameras don't reach. Kenneth Supreme, McGriff, the word on the block. Supreme allegedly paid for the hit. Why? It all pointed back to one bold move. 50E's track, Ghetto Current, that song didn't just name drop, it straight up exposed street legends by name, including Supreme himself. And if you know anything about that era, you know that wasn't just risky, that was deadly. See, Supreme wasn't some random odd. This man was a heavyweight in the Queens underworld, a drug kingpin with serious federal cases breathing down his neck. His name rang bells in the streets and in FBI offices. Now, before those 9 bullets even flew, the tension was already boiling. Word is, Supreme had tried to little bro 50, flexing like he ran all of Queens. But 50? He didn't fold. He barked back publicly, loudly, and lyrically. And in the streets, that kind of disrespect has a price. Most folks would have tucked tail and vanished. But 50? He didn't back down even when Supreme showed up on his block. That moment stamped who 50 really was. He wasn't built to bow. But then, boom, the feds came knocking. In 2001, they snatched Supreme up on charges that read like a Netflix crime doc. Murder, drug trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy. The man got life, no parole, no mercy. But if you thought that was the end of the story, you don't know how deep this game goes. Even behind bars, Supreme's name wouldn't die. In fact, things were just getting darker.
Trust Black Just.
Everybody
Supreme,
fuck with
I don't
Just.
know. I never trusted dog.
Everybody Just though.
I'm a street. Dog skin, cream eyes.
Even behind bars, Supreme wasn't done pulling strings. Prosecutors claimed the man still had heavy reach from his prison cell, calling shots like a mob boss in a crime flick. And it wasn't just rumors, his name got tied to even more bloodshed, including one that shook hip-hop to its core, the murder of Jam Master Jay. Now hold up, why would a music legend like Jay be caught up in Supreme's shadow? Well, rewind a little. Early in his grind, 50 Cent wasn't alone out here. He had Jam Master Jay as a mentor, guiding him, backing him, even helping him record when nobody else would touch him. But once 50 dropped Ghetto Current, everything changed. That song didn't just start a rap beef, it was like tossing a lit match into a room full of gas tanks. People started whispering, did 50 just put himself and the people around him in serious danger? And one of those people? Jam Master Jay. To this day, there's no clear answer, no smoking gun. But the rumors never stopped swirling. Was Jay's death somehow tied to 50's boldness? Did Supreme want revenge not just on 50, but anyone in his circle? No one knows for sure. Maybe we never will. But what is clear is this: Ghetto Current wasn't just a rap song, it was a declaration that came with consequences. Then came the twist that flipped everything on his head. Supreme had TIs to Ja Rule. Yup, the same Ja Rule who would become 50's arch nemesis, the guy he went to lyrical war with for years. Turns out, before the feds took Supreme down, he wasn't just connected to Irv Gotti, they were allegedly doing real business together. Behind the scenes deals, financial support, street TIs. It wasn't just music beef, it was personal, political, dangerous.
Vest now, most of the time, I believe.
Yeah, in the States, just because I've been shot myself, and I've seen Tupac and Biggie Smalls situation.
So here's where the heat turns into fire. Supreme wasn't just a name in the streets, he had his hands all over Murder Inc., Ja Rule's label. And once that got out, everything 50 had been suspecting started to feel way too real. Everybody remembers how messy the 50 vs. Ja beef got tracks, interviews, club fights, radio wars. But this wasn't just to rappers throwing shade. This was street war disguised as music beef. Supreme didn't like how 50 moved, and while he might not have thrown the first punch, he damn sure kept the fire lit. And for 50, that changed everything. If the same folks who were topping charts and shooting videos were also linked to someone who allegedly wanted him dead, then who the hell could he trust? That's when the real paranoia started kicking in. It wasn't just outsiders gunning for him anymore. The danger started creeping into his own circle. People around him started moving funny. Smiles turned fake. Loyalty got shaky. The beef with Ja Rule wasn't just lyrical, it became survival. Diss tracks flew like bullets. Streets were buzzing. Wonksta, clap back, back down. Every line had fans choosing sides. The industry started splitting in two. You were either riding with 50 or riding with Murder Inc. And in that kind of war, one wrong move could get you caught up in something way bigger than music. 50 knew the game was real now. Too real. And from that moment on, he played to win by any means.
Into the block, 50 up there, Cream, dude, you know those. You know what 50 did? Yeah.
Do it back, yeah.
Oh, you know what the block did?
Yeah, that's what
That's when I knew 50 didn't give a and that's when I knew.
By this point, 50 wasn't just building a label, he was assembling a militant rap empire. G-Unit wasn't a group, it was a squad of ride or dies, soldiers. Because when you're dodging bullets in real life and in the industry, you don't need friends, you need soldiers that'll ride, no questions asked. But right in the middle of all the smoke and tension, the first crack hit the core. And that crack had a name, the Game. First, it looked like a power move. 50 brought Game, the West Coast golden boy, into G-Unit to add weight and West Coast firepower. Dude had bars, swagger, street representative. The energy was electric, but behind the scenes, the fuse was already lit. Everything exploded when Game showed up at Hot 97 and basically made it clear he wasn't rocking with 50's enemies. He straight up said he didn't want smoke with Jadakiss or Fat Joe, even though they had just teamed up with Ja Rule on that New York track, a joint that 50 saw as a direct shot at him. To 5th. That wasn't peace talk, that was a betrayal. You. Either G-Unit or you the opposition. Period. No fence sitting. No, I'm cool with everybody energy. And if you're smiling with the ops, you just chose your side. So a few days later, 50 pulled up to Hot 97, Deep Tony Yale, Lloyd Banks, and even Olivia at his side. He sat down with Funkmaster Flex and let it rip on air in front of the whole city. 50 dragged Game, called him cocky, disrespectful, and worst of all, ungrateful. After everything 50 had done to boost him, this is how he repaid him. The G-Unit civil war had officially begun.
What up? You know, whole brother ain't family in this full.
50 wasn't done airing it out. He went even deeper on Hot 97, dropping a bomb that rocked the industry. He claimed he ghost wrote a big chunk of Game's debut album, the documentary. Yup, the same album that went multi-platinum and put Game on the map. 50 said that that pen, that was him. It was like pulling the curtain back mid-show. Suddenly, fans saw the truth behind the music, and 50 made sure the world knew I was the muscle behind that whole movement. So when Flex asked, where does Game stand in G-Unit right now? 50 didn't hesitate. He's out, period. No second chances. The line was drawn in blood, but this beef wasn't about to stay on the mic. Word got back to Game and he was heated. Game and his crew mobbed up and rolled straight to Hot 97. While 50 was still inside the building, they weren't coming to talk. They came for confrontation, but security stepped in before fists flew. And then, boom, gunshots. Outside Hot 97. It got real. One of Game's boys got shot in the chaos. At that point, the beef went way past rap. This was real life war spilling into the streets. Any shred of respect or brotherhood between 50 and Game, gone, shattered, never coming back. But just when you thought the drama peaked, another crack hit G-Unit. And this one didn't come from an outsider. It came from inside the house, from someone even closer to 50 than Game ever was, Young Buck.
Give him a chance, give him the benefit of the doubt then, but you know, you could take this as official notice right here because we're on the hottest morning show in the world right now.
Ow.
Pretty much you could say Young Buck is no longer in the group G-Unit, but signed to G-Unit.
Young Buck was once 50's Southern hammer, gritty, loyal, and always down to ride. He brought that raw Tennessee energy to G-Unit, hungry, real, and ready for war at a moment's notice. But by early 2008, something fell off. The streets started asking, yo, where's Buck at? He was missing from mixtapes, Ghost on tracks, and nowhere to be found on Return of the Body Snatchers. The silence was loud. Whispers turned into side-eye. Did Buck fall out with 50 too? Then came the headline that blew it wide open. May 2008, XXL magazine. Buck finally spoke up and he aired out the tension. Said he and 50 hadn't spoken in months. Talked about money, stress, pressure, feeling pushed out. He didn't go full disrespect, but it was public, and in 50's world, that's enough. To 50, it was DJ Vu, another brother, turning to the media instead of handling it behind closed doors. Another G-Unit soldier breaking rank and spilling tea to the press. And just like he did with Game, 50 clapped back, fast, loud, and surgical. He didn't wait. He didn't sugarcoat it. He hit the airwaves once again and came for Buck's neck. To him, it wasn't just disappointment, it was betrayal. And just like that, G-Unit's foundation shook again, this time from the inside, from someone who once had 50's full trust.
I aligned a little bit with you, so I swear to God I have.
Yeah, you're gonna be alright, you hear me?
I'm wrong.
This is 50.com.
April 7th, 2008, 50 Cent pulled up to Hot 97's morning show calm, collected, ice in his veins. No yelling, no drama, just cold facts. Live on air with the whole world listening. 50 officially cut Young Buck from G-Unit. No warning, no backstage talks, just straight dismissal, raw and public. And just like that, for the second time, a founding member of the G-Unit family was outed in front of millions. But Buck, he wasn't going out quiet. He clapped back fast with a diss track coming directly at 50 with bars full of fire. But what really left the streets in shock wasn't the music, it was the leaked phone call. A secretly recorded conversation between Buck and 50 hit the internet, and it was messy. You could hear Buck crying, literally sobbing, apologizing, admitting he messed up, begging 50 to take him back. It was emotional, raw, uncomfortable to even listen to. And 50, he leaked it. Let that tape fly like a warning shot. Disrespect me publicly, I'll break you publicly. Still, Buck wasn't done. Less than 24 hours later, he dropped another diss, The Taped Conversation. He flipped the script, tried to paint 50 as the villain and himself as the victim. But the damage already done. The G-Unit brand was bleeding from the inside. Through all this chaos, there was one man who stayed silent, Lloyd Banks. No diss tracks, no press rants, just silence. For Banks, loyalty meant not airing dirty laundry. Even while the empire crumbled, he stayed solid. But 50, he wasn't ready to bury G-Unit just yet. He doubled down hard. More mixtapes, more solo projects, TV deals, interviews, still waving that G-Unit flag like it was wartime. But the vibe, it had shifted. What started as a brotherhood now moved like a brand. Business came first, family second, and by 2010, fans could feel it. The magic was gone. Tony, Yayo, 50's most loyal soldier, even admitted in interviews, things just ain't tight no more. The hunger was fading. The chemistry? Off. Sales dropped. Hype died. And while G-Unit was still a name, other rap crews were taking the spotlight. The dynasty? It was unraveling piece by piece.
He just, I don't even know. He couldn't even tell you, like, at any point when you speak to him, what a problem. Damn. I put him like where I put Marquise.
Oh, wow.
Like, they just have something internally that's going on with them that gives them some sort of resentment towards me, and I just don't even.
Even while G-Unit was crumbling, 50 Cent wasn't sitting around watching the ship go down. He was moving smarter, diving headfirst into TV, business, branding, power, vitamin water, book deals. The man was building an empire beyond rap. But back in the music world, whispers started floating around. This time about Lloyd Banks, the quiet one, the loyal one. Now, not picking up calls, not showing up, not moving like part of the team. And eventually, 50 addressed it head on. No filter, no sugarcoat, just like always dot in interviews. He said Banks and Yayo were stuck in the past, refusing to grow with the game. That G-Unit hustle, it wasn't in them anymore. And just like that, the cracks deepened. One by one, the soldiers who helped build the G-Unit empire were falling away, not with diss tracks, not with smoke, but with silence, distance. That cold, corporate kind of separation that hurts even more. By the early 2010s, G-Unit felt like a memory, a name you remembered, not a force you feared. Then out of nowhere, boom, 2014, Summer Jam. The crowd lost their minds when 50 hit the stage and brought out Banks, Yayo, Buck, and Kid. For a moment, it felt like the old days were back. Unity, power, that G-Unit energy. But the magic didn't last. They dropped a few mixtapes, hit the media circuit, made the rounds. But something was off. The chemistry, gone. The vibe, forced. The love, tired. It felt like a family reunion for the camera, all smiles up front, but tension thick in the room. And behind the scenes, it was already breaking down. Again, interviews got weird. Subtle shade on social media. Then, silence. Lloyd Banks did first. No press run, no goodbye, just vanished. 50 later said Banks ghosted him, stopped answering. No drive, no evolution. And eventually, even the most loyal soldier, Tony Yayo, stepped away to dot in 2023. Yayo admitted, it's straight. 50 always held too much control, never letting the rest of the crew fully shine. And just like that, G-Unit didn't end with a bang. It faded out like a cold wind through a cracked door. No final album. No farewell tour. Just quiet, but it never truly disappeared. The legacy lived on through the mixtapes, the interviews, the wild ride that changed hip-hop forever. Way back when 50 was at war with half the rap game, Banks never jumped in. No diss tracks, no public sides, just silence. But to 50, that quiet felt shady. Is he loyal? Or is he just hiding a grudge? That question always lingered. Banks moved on. Buck moved on. But neither one disrespected what G-Unit meant, not completely. There's still that layer of respect, a quiet nod to what they built, even if they walked away from it. But when it comes to the game, that chapter is dead and buried. That bridge, ashes, yeah, we've seen a few reunions here and there. But ask 50 today about bringing the crew back. He keeps it cold, quiet, business dash like .no hype, no promises, just history. Because if there's one thing 50 learned through it all, Trust don't come easy. Not anymore. And after everything he's been through, can you really blame him? Yo, if you made it this far, you already know what's up. Hit that like button, drop a comment, tell us which G-Unit moment had your jaw on the floor. And don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.